Dr. Shah. Dr. Shah, what's happening to my husband?
I'm sorry, his fungus breached the bloodstream and it's now threatening his heart.
I couldn't believe what the doctor was saying, or that my father's heart was being destroyed by a common form of fungus, something that started with a single infected toenail, but had now spread throughout his entire body, giving him ruthless night sweats, aching joints, difficulty breathing, while threatening his liver, lungs, and even his brain. It all seemed so impossible. And worse still was the fact that neither my father's primary doctor, nor the more than 36 specialists he'd seen in the last 8 months, had any idea how to stop it. It makes me furious when I think about these long hospital nights sitting by his side, watching helplessly as he coughed up blood, and he developed unexplainable bruises on his feet and hands. In fact, the only reason I'm even willing to talk about this nightmare is because it's also what led me to uncover a simple but exceptionally powerful antifungal breakthrough. Something that the Asaro mudmen from the humid, damp jungles of Papua New Guinea have used for more than 1,800 years to prevent skin infections. And that can destroy any kind of fungus within 14 days. Hi, my name is Roy William, and it's safe to say that I'm hated by pretty much every pharmaceutical executive on the planet. That's because the information inside this video is costing them billions of dollars each month, and they're in an all-out panic about how to silence me before you hear what I have to say. The greedy SOBs in Big Pharma don't want you to know that your nail or skin fungus is actually just a symptom of something much more severe, that treating your fungal infection with antibiotics practically guarantees it will come back worse within 6 months, or that the real cause of your fungal infections comes from inside your body, where it's been building up for years, like a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. In fact, by the time you see a fungal infection, unexplained rash, or experience dry and itchy red skin that doesn't go away, you're probably already much sicker than you realize. And it's urgent that you do something to treat the problem as fast as possible. That's why I made this short video, to share with you what I've learned firsthand, including a simple 10-second diagnostic test that you can do from home without any supplies. And that will show you whether or not you're suffering from fungal poisoning, plus what to do immediately if you are. In the next few minutes, I'll also share the secret method that primitive tribes in Papua New Guinea use to never get fungal infections, and that one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world is now trying to patent here in the US, so they can charge you thousands of dollars for it, even though it only costs a few pennies if you do it at home. So yes, in just a few moments, you'll find out how to immediately rid your body of all fungus, freeing you from the embarrassing and painful nail and skin infections so that you're fungus-free on both the inside and the out. It's something I spent more than 237 hours researching as I fought a desperate race against the clock to save my father's fungus-riddled heart. And it doesn't require any side effect-filled drugs like Lamisil or Sporanox, or any creams that can add up to hundreds of dollars and only make your skin and nails itchy, smelly, and inflamed. It also doesn't require you to spend upwards to $2,000 on surgery, which leaves you with an empty wallet and scars on your hands and feet. Instead, this antifungal breakthrough has been proven to work in many different cases. So if you're ready to join the more than 18,420 Americans have used this fungus-destroying breakthrough with rave results to destroy the fungal infection on your skin and nails while protecting yourself from potentially devastating or life-threatening diseases, then stick with me until the end of this presentation as I show you how to rid yourself of fungal blood poisoning, while ensuring your fungus never, ever comes back, so that your hands and feet once again look smooth, strong, and healthy like they did when you were young. Finding out about this breakthrough will only take a few moments of your time, yet it could add 15 years or more to your life. I'll share the studies that prove this is the case during the presentation, while giving you back the freedom from pain and embarrassment that your fungus has been causing, just like it did for Aaron Michaels of Boston, Massachusetts. He writes, "I hate to say this, but my doctor was lying to me. For nearly 4 years, my right foot was plagued by fungus. And over the last few months, it had been getting a whole lot worse, with my big toe being entirely overrun with fungal mold. It was disgusting to look at. Plus, it caused me a whole lot of pain and made it near impossible to sleep at night. Worse still was the fact that none of my doctor's medications or topicals seemed to work for me. I felt totally helpless. I mean, if there was a solution out there, my doctor would know about it, right? That's what I thought at least, which is why I was shocked by what happened after I followed the easy steps you shared in your video. Within a few short weeks, the fungus on my foot was way less pronounced. I could even see the half moons again, and my nails had that healthy pinkish look. After a month or so, the fungus vanished completely. I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it. It's been 6 months, and I haven't had one issue with fungus. It's amazing. Thank you for sharing this presentation. I'm furious I spent thousands of dollars with my doctor over the years, yet didn't get results. Like I said, it seems pretty clear that my doctor just wanted to make money by treating my symptoms rather than the root cause. Or Jenny Anderson of Tampa, Florida. She says, living in the South, fungal infections are pretty much a way of life. It's hot and humid most of the year, and I spend a lot of my time in the water. I thought the dry, itchy skin on my hands and feet were something I'd live with forever. Last summer, however, when the fungal infection on my hand got really bad, I decided to do something about it. I tried laser treatments, soaking my hands in tea tree oil, you name it. Nothing seemed to work. After watching your presentation and following your suggestions, I finally had my breakthrough. It all happened so fast. My nails are healthy and growing again. The pink color has returned to them, and the fungus is gone. It's remarkable. It feels great to know that I can hang out by the pool again in sandals and not feel any embarrassment. I also love that this program is entirely safe for type 2 diabetics like myself, because we have to be careful with what kind of treatments we use. Thank you. Hey, so as I mentioned to you already, my name is Roy Williams.
I live outside of Baltimore, where I studied botany at the University of Maryland. For the past 18 years, I've worked as an herbal botanist in the most remote parts of the world, from the Amazon jungle to the rainforest in Thailand, where I researched plants and herbs that showed promise as natural solutions for some of the most common health conditions. You should also know that I come from a typical American family. I was raised by a mom and dad who were stern but loving, and who taught me to put others before myself to do what's right, and that no man is above the Lord. It's safe to say that my parents made me who I am today, which is why, as this fungal infection began attacking my father, spreading from a single toenail through his bloodstream, wreaking havoc on his liver and lungs, before eventually clogging his heart valves, I was horrified. I hate talking about it, actually, but I'm going to share what happened so that you can make sure the same thing doesn't happen to you. Throughout my adult life, I've always made a point to visit my parents at least once a week, whether it's for a family dinner, playing card games, or attending church. About a year ago, though, as I was sitting out on the porch during a particularly humid Maryland summer day, I noticed that my dad's feet looked a little strange. Specifically, the skin around his big toe was cracked and peeling, and there was a yellow streak running vertically down the center. Truthfully, it was a little gross to look at, and when I asked my dad if he'd seen a doctor, he just laughed it off. He told me I should know better than to be worried about something as simple as a yellow toenail. That when you begin to age, stuff like this happens all the time, and especially in the summer when it's more humid and moist. Well, I didn't like his answer, but I didn't feel like it was my place to question my father, especially because as a New York State firefighter for more than 30 years, he had always seemed more or less invincible. He hardly ever got sick with anything besides the common cold, and he was always bouncing around with energy. So I decided to just let the issue be and hope things worked themselves out. Unfortunately, however, the exact opposite started to happen. As time passed, more of my father's toenails began to become yellow, hardened, and crumbly. It was pretty awful to look at and embarrassing for him. But more importantly, he soon had trouble even walking, and the pain it was causing my father made it difficult for him to sleep at night. Also, around this time, my father started becoming more forgetful, and a flight of stairs would leave him hunched over, gasping for air, which was very unusual for him. Now, I thought this was all unrelated, but I soon found out it wasn't. Eventually, my father's yellow feet had become unbearable even for him, and he began trying numerous popular remedies, from over-the-counter topical creams to different oils. Yet all they did was cost him money without any results. Before long, my father's nails had completely been overrun with fungus, and he was also starting to develop a red rash on his scalp and his face, along with ringworm and jock itch. His hair was beginning to fall out, and while he said he was finally just getting old, when I put my foot down and told him he needed to see a doctor, my dad quickly agreed. Unfortunately, seeing a doctor was one of the worst decisions we've ever made, because all he did was prescribe my dad Sporanox for his fungus, along with a cocktail of antibiotics for the dry, scaly rashes that were showing up on his arms, face, and head. For the first few weeks, the big pharma meds did seem to be helping, but then, like clockwork, along came the side effects. My father was losing weight, and his appetite was gone. He started feeling achy, getting dizzy spells, and having headaches, and he complained of stomach pain constantly. Even more alarming, it seemed like my father's fungus was coming back with a vengeance, and his red, dry skin had become worse until there were these hideous rashes all over his body. I was completely dismayed, and when I really dug into the side effects of Sporanox, my stomach dropped in disgust. Did you know that some of the most common side effects of Sporanox include patchy skin color, a butterfly-shaped skin rash over your cheeks and nose, raised silvery flaking of the skin, severe skin reaction, including swelling of the face or tongue, burning eyes, and a red or purple rash that spreads? Seriously, these are all side effects of Sporanox. You can look them up. And I was outraged that his doctor had prescribed a medication that was known to make skin problems even worse. Was this doctor really trying to help my dad heal? Or was he just trying to make money by giving him as many ineffective meds as he could so he could easily afford to keep paying for his country club membership and his Mercedes lease? We all felt so helpless, and there was nowhere else to turn. And then things went from bad to worse. I still remember this horrifying moment vividly. It was a warm Saturday afternoon in early October, and me, my mom, and my dad were all sitting around the patio catching up. Dad seemed unusually energetic and chatty that day, and it was just starting to feel like maybe there was hope after all, when, out of nowhere, he clutched his chest, his eyes rolled back in his head, and he dropped to the floor. When we got my dad to the emergency room and the doctors had run their battery of tests, the results the doctors found made our hearts sink. My father's fungus had entered his bloodstream and spread throughout his entire body and latched onto the 4 valves in his heart. According to the doctors, there was nothing they could do, and the fungus would eventually find its way into the rest of his vital organs, including his brain. These fungal infections were becoming increasingly common, they said, and because this was so advanced, it was only a matter of time until his body shut down entirely. I felt such a strange mix of horror and disbelief. Horror at the thought of my father's heart being covered in moldy fungus that was spreading and colonizing into the rest of his body, like some parasite, destroying his memories, his motor functions, his ability to speak, and disbelief that all of this could have happened from a single infected toenail. In fact, it wasn't until the doctor showed me the x-rays they ran on my dad, and I saw the sick yellow-white film inside his heart, that I could even accept that this was 100% real. I was devastated, and I was mad that the doctors didn't seem to care about my dad, that they told me to accept that he was elderly and there wasn't a cure, that he was going to die, and I was even more furious that all of this happened because of a moldy yellow toenail. Now, I know my father's case might sound extreme, but in the next few minutes I'll prove that it's a lot more common than you think, and that people all over the world are suffering and a whole host of other conditions and diseases because of fungal poisoning inside their bodies. Seeing my father like that in the hospital bed, helpless and slurring his words, it was a reality I just couldn't accept. And so I did the only thing I could. I threw myself into a desperate race against the clock. It seemed hopeless, but what other choice did I have? So I spent every waking hour researching. I started with the basics, like asking how we become infected by fungus in the first place. I quickly found out that while it seemed like a simple question, it wasn't sure it's possible to contract fungus by coming into contact with warm, moist, or damp surfaces like the shower at the gym, or a locker room, or a public swimming pool. But Dad hadn't set foot in a public gym or swimming pool in years, and he always kept the house incredibly neat and clean. I was stumped. So I even asked a simpler question: what exactly is fungus? And while I expected to have an answer in 5 minutes, this question would actually lead me to the antifungal breakthrough I'm about to share with you. You see, shockingly enough, I found that the scientific and medical communities couldn't even agree on what fungus is. They could only agree on a few common characteristics that all forms of fungus share. One of those characteristics is that fungus is essentially a highly evolved form of bacteria, except while bacteria is a small single-cell organism without a nucleus, which is the command center of the cell, fungus is a larger multicelled organism that has a well-defined nucleus. Now, this might sound like a lot of scientific mumbo-jumbo, but it's actually incredibly important. Here's why I realized that while fungus is extremely similar to bacteria in almost every single way, Big Pharma and most researchers were treating it as something entirely different. This didn't make any sense. It would be like using a mechanic to fix your broken-down car engine, but then hiring a massage therapist to fix your broken-down bus. What if instead We thought of fungus like a bacteria. Would that change how we treat it? I decided this was a lead I needed to investigate. And fortunately, with my 18 years of studying the world's most microscopic and rare plant species, bacteria were something I knew a lot about. I knew that bacteria cover every surface we can touch, from our cell phones to our keyboards. I also knew that bacteria can be airborne and that we can breathe it in, which is why we're told to cover our mouths when we cough or sneeze, because those germs can float through the air and enter another person's bloodstream through the mouth or nose. Could fungus be airborne too? I started looking into it and was shocked by what I found. It turned out that the Center for Disease Control had been making announcements about airborne fungus as early as 2006. And in 2010, after 15 people died tragically, the CDC put out a desperate warning to the public, notifying them that airborne fungus was beginning to spread across the United States. Why had the CDC been ignored? Why was nobody talking about this? I felt mad that airborne fungus wasn't being mentioned for the health epidemic it really is, especially when I discovered a 2016 Yale University study that proved even our home air conditioning units can increase airborne fungal infections in the lungs by more than 200%. It was maddening and shocking. Just like bacteria, fungus was everywhere. It traveled through the air and colonized virtually every surface. They even found it on most brands of supermarket bread. It was in nursing homes, shopping malls, cars, offices. Everywhere you looked, there was fungus or mold. So, was it any surprise that so many people were becoming infected? Plus, scarier still, I realized that since there are millions of fungal spores floating through the air we breathe regularly, the infections on our hands, our feet, our scalps, or our nails, along with the red, itchy, dry skin on our bodies, were actually one of the last symptoms of an infection that was already deep inside us, attacking our organs and our blood vessels, causing our mental fatigue, our brain fog, our low energy, and exhaustion. If you're having a hard time understanding how this could be, imagine that your body is like a beautiful blue lake. It's actually a pretty good analogy because our bodies are 60% water and the plasma in our blood is 90% water. When your body is healthy, it's like a pristine lake, a diverse ecosystem full of life. But when your body becomes filled with fungus, it becomes more like this. Now, it doesn't take an expert to realize that the lake in the picture above isn't healthy. The surface is covered in a green-yellow bacteria, and this bacteria can suck away the nutrients in a body of water and kill all the fish that live inside. And it's not like that lake turned green overnight either. Instead, something in the water changed weeks or months before creating the perfect conditions for the algal bloom that's now infesting a formerly clean and healthy body of water and destroying the entire ecosystem. Well, the exact same thing happens in your body when you suffer from fungal poisoning. Just like bacteria can overrun a lake, bacterial fungus can overrun your body, destroying your internal ecosystem of organs, cells, and vessels, and threatening your life. It was so shockingly simple that it made so much sense. I couldn't believe I hadn't thought about airborne fungus before, or realized that, just like bacteria, we were being assaulted by it millions of times each day. The signs were so obvious, and even right in our noses. Think about snot. Why is it that your snot is usually a disgusting yellow or green color? The answer is because your nose is your body's natural air filter. It traps pollutants and other toxic air particles and keeps them out of your body. Yet, unless you're entirely stuffed up and can't breathe through your nose, a portion of the airborne fungal spores and bacteria will make their way inside. Even our ears have their own antifungal defense in the form of earwax, which, according to UC Berkeley and the University of Maryland, can play a large role in trapping fungus and stopping it from attacking our brain. Why would our ears have been designed to protect us from fungus, unless it was something that could enter our bodies through the air? This whole revelation made things so much clearer, yet even though it made perfect sense, I wanted an outside opinion. So I put in a phone call to an old colleague of mine, fellow botanist and researcher Dr. David Jameson. I first met David in the early 2000s when I traveled down to Brazil to research a newly discovered species of orchids. He was studying rare forms of mushrooms in the Amazonian region at the time, and he was hands down one of the most interesting people I'd ever met. David was constantly living with remote tribes for months at a time, discovering weird new plant species and publishing groundbreaking studies in between. So I figured if anyone could confirm my theory that fungus could be treated like bacteria, it was this man. Fortunately, David happened to be in Goroka, Papua New Guinea, when I called, which is about an hour away from one of the last remaining indigenous populations on the planet. I told him about the horrible and urgent situation and about my theory that bacteria and fungus were one and the same. I know how to treat bacterial infections, I remember saying. Is fungus the same thing? Can I treat it in a similar way? For several long seconds, David said nothing, and I was terrified that we'd been disconnected. But then I heard his voice coming through on the other line, and what he said changed everything. You're not wrong to think of fungus like a bacteria, the researcher began, but there are a few big differences. As you mentioned already, fungi are made up of numerous cells, while bacteria are made up of a single cell. Also, fungi are larger and more advanced than bacteria, which is probably why it's so much harder to destroy. David asked me how the body gets rid of a bacterial infection, and I replied that it was simple. The immune system usually kills bad bacteria as it enters our body. Well, in the case of a fungal infection, the immune system might well be able to do the same thing, he replied, except you need a really, really strong immune system to do it. And in the case of your father, I doubt his immune system qualifies as strong. In fact, I don't need to tell you that after the age of 30, our immune systems become weaker every single year, which is why older folks are at a higher risk of infections and sickness than younger folks. God, please don't tell me your father was on antibiotics. I told him that he was. Well, that clearly made the matter worse. Antibiotics are legendary for killing all the bacteria in our bodies, which sounds great, except they kill the good bacteria along with the bad bacteria. As you know, good bacteria is essential to our immune health, along with our circulation and our ability to fight off disease, which means those antibiotics have left your dad defenseless. Well, I knew David was right about the antibiotics, and it made me furious with myself for not thinking of this sooner. But I also knew there was no time to start beating myself up. The clock was ticking on my father's life. So, to sum up things here, I said to David, it sounds like if I want to help my dad or others who suffer from fungus, I'll need to find a way to support the immune system so they can destroy their fungal bacteria from the inside out. Is that right? The researcher agreed, and then he gave me a very important place to start my research. If I were you, I'd start looking at Bacillus subtilis. You've probably heard about it since it's a probiotic, which, as you know, is a name we give to healthy bacteria that's good for humans. It actually can be found naturally in the soils of the Goroka forest. And in fact, one of the tribes I've worked with for the last 5 years cultivates it regularly and then eats it. They've been doing that for thousands of years, as far as I can tell. And even though they live in the humid, damp rainforests here in Southeast Asia, spend hours a day in puddles, rivers, ponds, and lakes with their hands and feet soaked, and have zero access to antibiotics or modern medicine, these tribesmen are some of the healthiest people I've ever come into contact with. In fact, I've never seen them have as much as a rash, let alone fungus. Their skin is healthy and clear, and they never get sick either. I've long suspected that Bacillus subtilis is the reason why. And actually, there's a large skincare company you've probably heard of, and that is really interested in this probiotic too. They've been sending their scientists down here for the last 6 months, and the rumor is that they want to patent it in the US and use it as a new antifungal cure. I don't know more than that. You'll have to research on your own, but if I were you, then yeah, I think Bacillus subtilis is definitely the place to start. With that, I thanked David for his time, hung up the phone, and rushed to my laboratory. Then I started pouring through university journal and hospital research archives to uncover everything I could about Bacillus subtilis. Within hours, I felt hope for the first time in a long, long time. It turns out that before antibiotics, people all over the world used Bacillus subtilis as a way to support the immune system and fight off infection and disease. And modern research confirmed that Bacillus subtilis was indeed a super agent for supporting healthy immune systems, something that, unlike destructive antibiotics, could even kill unhealthy bacteria in our bodies while increasing the good bacteria that's essential for our survival. For example, in a 2015 study published in the Journal of Immunity and Aging, which was randomized, double-blind, and placebo-controlled, when 100 people between the ages of 60 and 74 took the probiotic Bacillus subtilis daily, they showed a dramatically decreased frequency in infections, leading the researchers to conclude that supplementation with Bacillus subtilis was a safe, effective way to stimulate immune responses in elderly subjects, And that was just the start. Two studies published in the Journal of Immunology found that Bacillus subtilis destroyed virtually every bacterium it came in contact with, including fungus like Candida, and enhanced immunity and disease resistance significantly. While in another study, this one published in the American Society for Microbiology, Bacillus subtilis was shown to kill bacterial, fungal, and parasitic pathogens by triggering the immune system to create more healing antibodies. It was incredible. A simple probiotic that was found in the soil of the Papua New Guinea that could put our immune system into overdrive and destroy fungal, bacterial, and viral infections in a matter of days. With my heart racing, I started wondering if there were other probiotics that could do the same thing. And after thoroughly reviewing more than 315 different probiotic strains and ingredients, I immediately settled on 7 powerful probiotics, plus one incredible bonus nutrient, which, when combined together, appeared to have the potential to fight against our fungal poisoning from the inside out. Here they are: Fungus Fighter number 1, Bacillus subtilis, the immune system supercharger I just told you about. Fungus Fighter number 2, Lactobacillus plantarum. Lactobacillus plantarum has been shown in studies to produce its own natural antibiotics that target bad bacteria while leaving healthy gut bacteria intact. In a recent double-blind and placebo-controlled study of people with irritable bowel syndrome, 95% of people who took Lactobacillus plantarum saw a reduction in their IBS. But even more importantly, Lactobacillus plantarum is proven to fight fungal and bacterial infections, strengthen the immune system, and accelerate healing of the skin. Fungus Fighter number 3, Lactobacillus rhamnosus. There are over 400 studies showing that this probiotic improves our immune systems. Lactobacillus rhamnosus has also been shown to prevent eczema and stop dermatitis, and it's been proven to prevent bacteria and fungus from accumulating in the body while dramatically reducing inflammation. Fungus Fighter number 4, Bifidobacterium longum. Bifidobacterium longum is yet another powerful probiotic that has been shown to increase immune health and fight fungal infections. It's also been found to produce its own natural antibiotics that destroy bad bacteria inside of you and prevent infections. Fungus Fighter number 5, Lactobacillus casei. Lactobacillus casei is often referred to as a superstar probiotic. It's been shown to inhibit viral and fungal infections, stimulate the immune system in the elderly, kill unhealthy bacteria inside the human body, and even protect against asthma. Fungus Fighter number 6, Bifidobacterium breve. By now, you can probably guess what Bacterium breve is good at. It's been shown to suppress the fungus Candida and to stimulate the immune system. It has also been shown to reduce irritable bowel syndrome and to increase digestion bacteria. Fungus Fighter number 7, Lactobacillus acidophilus. Lactobacillus acidophilus was discovered by Nobel Prize-winning scientist Ilya Mechnikov and has been shown to improve blood pressure and cholesterol, fight viral bacteria and fungal infections, repair leaky gut, and stop respiratory infections. Fungus Fighter number 8, Turmeric curcumin. Turmeric is what gives curry its yellow color, and it's also routinely added to mustard for the same reason. Yet, while turmeric is great as a flavoring, where it really shines is as one of the most powerful antifungal ingredients known to man. In fact, one study from the Journal of Antimicrobial Chemotherapy tested curcumin's inhibitory activity against 23 fungi, and researchers found that curcumin was stronger than the leading prescription drug fluconazole in inhibiting the growth of some fungi. Yet, unlike fluconazole, curcumin left the patients with 0 negative side effects. Once I had my list of 8 fungus fighters that supported the immune system and destroyed fungus, I went to work combining them into a single pill form, something that was easy to swallow yet effective. I must tell you that I was obsessive over the quality, purity, and bioavailability of these ingredients, because I knew this was the only chance to save my father's heart and defeat the fungal infection that had spread throughout his entire body. I tested formulations day and night, until finally, after nearly 194 hours of trial and error, I held my antifungal solution in perfect pill form. But there was no time for celebration, because I needed to get this to my dad now and pray that it wasn't too late. So, on a cool January afternoon, I entered the hospital and gave my father a single dose of my antifungal creation. Then, all I could do was wait. And after 72 excruciating hours, there wasn't much of a difference. I was worried that I'd failed, but I did the only thing I could. I kept my faith in God. And on the 4th day, I had tears of joy coming down my eyes as he spoke to me. His words were clearer and less slurred than they had been in months. He also seemed happier and more alive than he had been in a long, long time. It wasn't everything, but it was a start. And I was also incredibly encouraged to see that his toenails were becoming less yellow and clearer. After that, things began to happen fast. By the end of 12 days, my father's feet showed hardly any signs of fungus. He was talking clearly again and was 100% alert. It was like he'd come back to me. And then, on January 22nd, the real moment of truth came when we received my dad's updated x-rays. The doctor said it was a true miracle. The fungus that had been infecting my dad's heart was almost entirely gone. There was hardly a trace there or anywhere else on or inside his body, for that matter. Instead, his nails, skin, and hair went back to normal, looking just like they did before this whole nightmare started. You can only imagine the pride, relief, and joy I felt at having saved my father from his fungal poisoning and safely returning him to his quiet home in Baltimore with my mom. Yet over the next few weeks, he couldn't keep his mouth shut about the formula I'd given him. Every chance he could bring it up in conversation, he would. And when he told his retired firefighter buddies, some of which also suffered from nail fungus, ringworm, and jock itch, they all wanted to try what my father now calls his fungus vitamins. In fact, many of them just showed up to my house, demanding that I share what I had given my father, and I wasn't going to deny them a fungus-free living, especially considering how life-threatening those infected nails actually are. So I made another batch with the ingredients I had left and started giving it to my dad's firefighting friends. And to my complete surprise, my phone wouldn't stop ringing over the following weeks. I kept getting call after call from the men and women I'd given formula to, all thanking me for destroying their fungus and giving them their lives back, telling me that my probiotic mixture worked better than Lamisil, antibiotics, or other topicals. Their yellow fungus nails were returning to their healthy pinkish state, and their skin and scalps were clearing up and returning to normal. It wasn't long before I started getting hundreds of requests for the fungus-destroying formula every week, and that's when it hit me. I knew I had a new purpose in life. I needed to get this antifungal solution to every single person who needed it, because what I discovered could save so many lives. So I went to work, producing my antifungal probiotics for the public. I was extremely careful about the production process, and only used the purest and most bioavailable forms of each probiotic. This was crucial, because 95% of home remedies, supplements, and topicals have been shown to not contain the ingredients they claim to. And I wanted to make sure that I was delivering to people the most effective antifungal solution on the planet. I decided to call my discovery Clear Nails Max, because that's exactly what it does. It clears your body of both internal and external fungus. Plus, it also clears up your skin, nails, and scalp too. And now, you're probably asking, how can you get your hands on Clear Nails Max for yourself, along with how often do you need to take it for the best results? To be honest, it's actually still very difficult for the general public to get Clear Nails Max. The 8 ingredients inside must be cultivated in a sterile, state-of-the-art facility, then kept fresh through a proprietary process, something that only very few supplement manufacturers in the entire world have the technology to do correctly. Additionally, because Clear Nails Max helps remedy fungus at such an effective rate, pretty much everyone who uses it keeps on asking for more of the stuff, because they never again want to suffer from fungus on their feet, their nails, or their heads. And as word continues to spread, Clear Nails Max is also becoming extremely popular in Europe, which is putting even more of a strain on production, especially since it takes up to 3 months to custom create each batch. Plus, because the probiotics inside Clear Nails Max support a healthy immune system, even people who don't have fungus wanted it, so that they could avoid falling in or succumbing to life-threatening conditions. And as a result of the fact that Clear Nails Max is expensive to manufacture, it takes up to 3 months to produce a single batch and keep selling out, I frequently don't have any Clear Nails Max available for folks. But that being said, I also don't want anyone to suffer from the discomfort, embarrassment, and fear of fungus, which is why, in the next few moments, I'll share how you can get your hands on a brand new bottle of Clear Nails Max as part of our Breakthrough New Fungus-Free program. Okay, back to the other question of how much Clear Nails Max you need to take. Well, that's simple. Just take 1 capsule each day for at least 30 days. The reason it's important that you take Clear Nails Max for at least 30 days is pretty straightforward. While the 8 antifungal ingredients inside go to work pretty much immediately, there is also likely a large fungal buildup inside your body, something that's been attacking your organs, your blood vessels, and your vital organs. And you want to make sure you've removed every single trace of this deadly fungus. Remember, your yellow nails, dry and flaky skin, and itchiness are all just late-stage symptoms of a much bigger problem. So even after Clear Nails Max has given you back healthy pink nails and clear moist skin, you'll want to continue rooting out fungus from every corner of your body where it's hiding. That's why most medical doctors recommend that you choose at least 3 bottles of Clear Nails Max and 6 bottles if you want to be completely safe. Then take it for a period of at least 90 days. That way, you're taking the most effective approach possible in fighting off both internal and external fungus. This is vital, because the fight against fungus never ends. As you know, it's in the air we breathe, on the surfaces we touch, and everywhere else, which is why it's crucial to use Clear Nails Max as a protective agent, something that continues to kill fungal spores before they can enter your bloodstream and attack your body. Across the U.S., people are suffering from nail fungus, skin fungus, eczema, psoriasis, athlete's foot, even dry scalp and dandruff, whose conditions range from mild to extremely severe, are all discovering this website from family, friends, and a small handful of health experts who are willing to take a stand against Big Pharma. They found that their fungal infections are put to the test, and this natural solution is giving people their lives back. Just like Sandra Davis from Nashville, Tennessee, who says, "I didn't realize the itchy red skin on my feet and my sinus problems were related. In fact, I thought my ongoing stuffy nose was just due to allergies, but after seeing that my snot was often yellow or green, I realized it was fungus making me sick. After trying your antifungal solution, however, both my sinuses and my skin have cleared up. This worked in a matter of days, too. I couldn't believe it. Thank you." And Richard Parker from Sacramento, California, who recently wrote us, "I couldn't agree more with the science and research behind your antifungal protocol. Just like you, I've researched the role the immune system has in fighting fungal infections, but I never thought of fungus like a form of bacteria. And I definitely never thought to use probiotics as a way to destroy fungal bacteria in the body. This is brilliant. Great work." Along with Stephen Matthews from Austin, Texas, who says, "It was really hard to even be around my father. He had such bad fungus on his nails of his hands and feet. I had topical creams from the pharmacy, but they weren't working. After I ordered 6 bottles of Clear Nails Max and started giving them to my dad, the change was dramatic. Within 7 days, he told me he felt less discomfort, and within a few weeks, his fungus had cleared up entirely. It's really rare to find a product out there that works as well as advertised, but yours is the exception. I can't believe how quickly this cleared away my dad's fungus." The real-life testimonials you just heard are only a few of the thousands I'm receiving each month about Clear Nails Max. And you should know that Clear Nails Max is only available on this website while there are supplies in stock and I'm able to stay in business. The truth is, I'm currently facing over a dozen potential injunctions from pharmaceutical lawyers who hate what I'm doing. I'm fighting a war every day not to let Big Pharma win. But I don't want you to wait on taking action and reclaiming your life with Clear Nails Max. Clear Nails Max is your only real chance to destroy your fungal infection. And it's something that can protect you from sickness for decades to come, so that you lower your risk of infection significantly and no longer need to use expensive and side effect-filled treatments that only provide temporary relief from your symptoms but don't cure the root cause, which is fungal poisoning inside of your body. Think about how good it will feel to no longer be embarrassed by the itching, the sweaty odor, the yellow, crumbling nails. How good it will feel to know that you've cleared out the clinging, destructive fungus from every nook and cranny of your body to have your life back. All it takes is 1 powerful antifungal capsule per day for you to live a fungal-free life for years to come. Of course, it's not to say that there aren't other options. For example, you could try oral medications. But besides the fact that they're riddled with side effects and cause liver damage, heart failure, fever, and can even lead to new rashes and skin infections while you're taking them, they can also cost $1,900 a year or more, and they don't treat the root cause of your fungus. It's the same with topical creams. All you're doing is treating the late-stage symptom of an internal infection. And why would you want to spend $500 per session on laser therapy, which is just like the other options I've mentioned? They don't treat the root cause. In fact, oral medications, topical creams, even laser therapy, these so-called solutions all but guarantee your fungus will come back stronger in a few months' time. Plus, you'll still have fungal poisoning in your blood, your organs, even your brain, causing a whole host of terrible health issues that you can't seem to get a handle on and that lead you down a spiraling pathway of more medications and side effects. That's why I originally set the investment in Clear Nails Max at $149 per bottle, which, honestly, I think is extremely fair. It's less than you'll pay for doctor visits, topical creams, laser therapy, or oral medications over the course of a year. Yet, unlike those other options, Clear Nails Max is a proven solution that supports both internal and external fungus. Plus, considering that there's only one supplement manufacturing facility in the entire world that has the capabilities to make Clear Nails Max, and that each capsule contains the purest and most bioavailable form of these antifungal probiotics in existence, $149 really is a steal. But despite all of that, this isn't about making a profit for me. Of course, I could use the money to help with my legal bills, especially since every single day I'm fighting the prescription drug cartels who are constantly trying to sue my pants off and shut me down. But ultimately, my mission is to help people. I don't want to make money. I want you to be healed. I want to save more people's lives like I did my dad's, which means I think everyone needs to be able to access Clear Nails Max through a special fungus-free program, and why, if you act now and make the life-saving decision to join the 18,000-plus men and women before you, you can get your hands on Clear Nails Max for just $69 per bottle. And actually, that's just the start. I understand that being free of poisoned blood and organs isn't just important to you. It's also important to your family and loved ones. And because I want to make sure that you and those you care about continue to enjoy a hyper-strong immune system, something that destroys bacteria, fungus, viruses, and other infections the moment they enter your bloodstream, I've created a special discounted package plan where you can get 6 bottles of Clear Nails Max for only $49 per bottle, a total of $249. This special discounted package is only being offered to you today through this website as part of my fungus-free program and only while supplies last. Plus, you'll also get free shipping today, which is a $9.99 value, but both the special multi-bottle discount and the free shipping are limited. When I run out of bottles of Clear Nails Max again, it will take up to 3 months before another batch is available. So click this 6-bottle package or any other package you choose below this video right now to secure your order. This is truly one of the smallest but most important investments that you'll ever make in your health and well-being. A single bottle of Clear Nails Max will flush years of fungal poisoning from your bloodstream, your organs, and your skin. 3 bottles will do the same thing while ensuring fungus stays out of your body as you heal. And 6 bottles of Clear Nails Max will give you an entire 6 months of protection, supporting your immune system to begin operating at a supercharged level so you can protect yourself from fungus, bacteria, infections, virus, improve digestion and heart health, lower blood pressure, and boost circulation until you're practically invincible. In other words, after using Clear Nails Max for 6 months, you could literally roll around in a tub filled with bacterial fungus and your body would automatically reject it without a single infectious spore getting inside of you. Plus, when you order Clear Nails Max in the next 9 minutes, I'm also going to give you 2 powerful and important bonuses for free. Bonus number 1, the 24-hour fungus flush normal retail value of $69. The 24-hour fungus flush is an information-packed protocol showing you how to naturally get rid of your nail fungus fast. Inside, you'll find the recipe for a powerful homemade fungicide that returns your nails to their clear fungal-free state. Why soaking your feet in cornmeal can actually be one of the quickest ways to destroy surface-level fungus, plus the rarely used vitamin that strengthens brittle and thin nails, and that's probably not in your multivitamin. Bonus number 2, the Diabetics Fungus Fighting Handbook, normally retail value of $47. By now, you shouldn't be surprised to discover that many foods are infested with fungus, or that this fungus spreads throughout your gut, causing havoc on your digestive system and bowel movements. That's why I created the Diabetics Fungus Fighting Handbook, a comprehensive guide containing 9 gut-healthy foods that will clean your gut of bad bacteria and fungus while giving you more energy, improving digestion, and further strengthening your immune system. Plus, the foods inside this guide are all diabetic-friendly, Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking this all sounds really exciting, and you're asking, how do I get started? Just click the yellow button below right now and choose the package of Clear Nails Max that's best for you. You'll then go to the secure checkout page, where you'll enter your order details, and within just 5 business days from now, you'll receive Clear Nails Max right to your front door. So go ahead and click the button below now to secure Clear Nails Max while there are still bottles in stock. This should be an absolute no-brainer, because you're covered by a 180-day, 100% money-back guarantee. It works like this. Begin using Clear Nails Max now. Feel how it rids your body of fungus on the inside, and see how fast it clears your feet, hands, nails, and skin of fungus fast. You'll notice your nails going back to their healthy pink color, where you can see the half moons. You'll see the red, itchy, flaking skin on your body clearing up and fading away. You'll reclaim your healthy, beautiful skin just like more than 18,000 other folks have done. And if for any reason you're not happy with your results using Clear Nails Max, simply email or call my US-based customer service team 24/7, and we'll give you a prompt and immediate refund with 0 questions asked. The best part, you don't even have to go through the hassle of sending the bottles back. You have nothing to lose except the fungus that's destroying your skin and wrecking your insides. It's a 100% risk-free investment. So go ahead and click one of the buttons you see below now to get started healing your body from fungus. This presentation is now ending, and the ultimate decision is yours. One of your choices is to stop watching this video and go on with your day. That's your right. But what will change if you make that choice? How are you going to feel in a month, 6 months, or a year from now if you don't act today and you're still suffering from fungus? Or, God forbid, how will you feel if your internal fungal poisoning keeps spreading, continuing to give you low energy, indigestion, chronic pain, and disrupting your sleep, even attacking your heart and threatening to shut it down entirely? The sad truth is that most people wait too long to act. I'm not saying this to get morbid or to scare you. I'm truly not. I'm telling you this because I don't want you to be a victim here. I'm telling you this because I want you to make the right choice by taking back your health and clicking one of the buttons you see below this video right now. You can get Clear Nails Max for just $69 per bottle, and for even less than that if you get my popular 3 and 6 bottle packages. Plus, because I really want you to heal your body once and for all, I'm also giving you free shipping and those 2 added bonuses as an extra incentive to make the right decision today. When supplies of Clear Nails Plus runs out, though, it'll be 3 months before we get more in. When the fungus-free program ends, the price goes back up to $149 per bottle, so that I can at least break even instead of losing money with each bottle I sell, which is what's happening now, all of which means you really must act now. My mission is to make fungal poisoning a distant memory by wiping it out of existence forever. You can play a large part in achieving this noble goal by participating in the Clear Nails Max fungus-free program today and receiving your order of Clear Nails Max to your front door in just a few short days from now. It's your decision, but this is your last chance. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless. Sincerely, Roy Williams. Still here? No problem. I know we just covered a lot to help you out. Let me go ahead and answer some of the most common questions you might have. 1. How does Clear Nails Max work again? So, as I mentioned, my major breakthrough was realizing that fungus is simply a more advanced form of bacteria. This means that it's entirely possible for your body to destroy both your internal and external fungal infections. But in order for that to happen, your immune system needs to be operating at an extremely high level of efficiency. Sounds easy, but it's not. The truth is that as we get older, our immune systems become weaker and weaker. As a result, the fungal spores that are attacking our bodies through the air, as well as through the foods we eat and all of the infected surfaces we touch, begin to run rampant. They'll poison our bloodstream and spread to our organs and even our brains. Plus, they'll also appear on our body's surface, creating those yellow, crumbling, fungus-infested nails, as well as rashes on our skin and our scalp. Clear Nails Max works by supporting a strong, healthy immune system so that your body can naturally destroy the fungal bacteria that's both inside and outside. Specifically, it uses 7 super probiotics, along with turmeric, that have all been proven to support a healthy immune system and to have antifungal, antiviral, and anti-infection qualities. This makes Clear Nails Max the only fungus-destroying product of its kind, a solution that's proven to work even when everything else has failed. 2. Can I take Clear Nails Max even if I have allergies or also take other supplements? Yes. In fact, because the ingredients have been shown to support the immune system, Clear Nails Max is actually a powerful anti-allergy solution as well. It may help reduce allergies while also protecting from the cold, the flu, and other viruses and infections. And because the ingredients inside Clear Nails Max are specifically targeted toward improving the good bacteria in your gut, it's 100% safe to take with other supplements as long as you follow the directions. 3. Why haven't I heard of this powerful probiotic solution before? Well, so far, more than 18,000 Americans have used Clear Nails Max with powerful results. I've already had a lot of interest from major newspapers and media outlets about Clear Nails Max, especially since more than 18,000 Americans have used it to help both their internal and external fungus. So far, I've chosen to keep this breakthrough underground, because the last thing I want is to get even higher up on Big Pharma's hit list. Antifungal products are a $13 billion a year industry, and the pharma lawyers will stop at nothing to silence me. I'm already dealing with potential lawsuits every single day, and the last thing I want is to raise an even higher profile. 4. Who is Clear Nails Max for? Clear Nails Max is for anyone who suffers from internal or external fungus. It's also a great choice for diabetics, because the ingredients inside have been shown to help support healthy insulin production. Additionally, there are 0 side effects, and you can take it with other supplements. 5. What happens once I click the button below? Once you choose your package below, you'll go to my 100% secure checkout page. Then just enter your payment information and place your order. After that, you'll receive Clear Nails Max in the next 5 business days, which means you're less than a week away from making your fungus a distant memory. 6. This sounds incredible, but I'm afraid it won't work for me. Can you remind me about your guarantee? Absolutely. Clear Nails Max comes with a 180-day, 100% money-back guarantee. That means you order Clear Nails Max today, then have a full 6 months to decide if it's right for you. If you're like the 18,000-plus people who have used Clear Nails Max already, then you will be thrilled with the results. But if you're not, for any reason, simply call or email my customer service team and we'll refund your investment with 0 questions asked. The best part, you don't even have to go through the hassle of sending the bottles back. This all means you truly have nothing to lose today when you get started. 8. How long will Clear Nails Max be available? That's hard to say. My hope is that Clear Nails Max will make fungal infections a distant memory. But because Big Pharma is furious about this breakthrough and is spending millions of dollars on legal fees to try and silence me, it's uncertain if I'll be able to fight them off forever. That's why it's important you get Clear Nails Max today, especially since it comes with a 180-day, 100% money-back guarantee, which means there's 0 risk to you. 9. All right, I already want Clear Nails Max. What do I do now? This part is simple. Just click one of the buttons below and choose your package, then complete your order, and Clear Nails Max will be in your hands in just 5 business days from now. Plus, there's no risk because of my ironclad 180-day guarantee. This presentation is now ending, and I want to say thank you for sticking with me all the way to the end. Go ahead and choose your package now. Take Clear Nails Max as directed for at least 30 days, and I cannot wait to hear about your success story. Thank you for watching, and God bless. Roy Williams.